Hello and welcome to my channel. Please watch this video all the way to the end because I do not want anyone to get hurt or killed because of something they thought I was arguing for in this video. I am not making the case that anybody can start on any motorcycle. I don't even believe that most people can or should ride a motorcycle, period. So please watch this video all the way to the end to fully comprehend the case that I'm trying to make here. Now, the common mindset is for your first motorcycle, you should get a starter bike, something like a 250cc, a 320 like a R3, or like a Ninja 400, something that's got not a lot of horsepower, it's quick and nimble, good gas mileage, cheap, not too fast, but not slow either, something to grow into, and then from there you go into faster stuff. So I realize that not a lot of people are going to take seriously what I say unless I have some sort of experience. So I'm going to give a little bit of a background on myself first to put some sort of weight behind what I am trying to argue in this video. So this is me, I think like 11, 12 years ago. You can actually scroll down all the way on my YouTube videos. It's the first video I ever uploaded. And this is young me and my first motorcycle. That is a 2004 Yamaha R1. I got my license like a week before I bought this bike cash, and I dailied it for over a year. I want to say I dailied it for a year and a half before I sold it for a Ninja 300. I downscaled, whereas most people, go big. Well, the reason I did that back then was for a lot of reasons. One, absolutely loved the look of the bike. I didn't have enough money for a 2008, which I have now, so I settled for a 2004. This was back in like 2011, so the 2008s were still, fetching pretty big money back then. So I fell in love with the look of the bike, but on top of that, I'm sort of a prideful person. I like proving people wrong. And so back then, and I'm sure as it is today still, there were a lot of bikers that would say things like, you can't start on a liter bike, you're going to get yourself killed, that's just asking to die. The statistics are all against you. Even if you got a starter bike, you have a 90% chance of having an accident in your first year. And all these things that they were saying from wisdom over the years. Well, guess what? I've got wisdom over the years now, so I can say things too. And I wanted to shut them all up, basically. So when I was on that bike, I was in that mindset of, I'm going to show these guys that they're wrong, that it is possible. And when I'm older one day, I'm going to argue that it is totally something that some people can do. However, it's not for everybody. So let's find out if you or someone you know is the kind of person that can pull something like this off. For the rest of this video, I'm going to go over in detail 4 things that I really believe you need to possess in order to pull off something like starting on a liter bike. Number 1, learning stick shift. The brain is bad at multitasking, and therefore when you hop on that bike for the first time, it's going to be learning how to turn and brake and accelerate and when you got to lean and stuff like that. You shouldn't also have to be learning how to shift gears. You should already know how to do that before you ever touch a motorcycle. I would highly recommend you get a car, a cheap car or something that has a manual transmission, and master it, so that when you touch a motorcycle for the first time, shifting is like walking and chewing gum at the same time to you. Number 2, do not freeze when you panic. Now, you may not be able to help this one. I'm not sure if this is something you can train away. But if you know you're the kind of person that freezes when you panic, that's going to lead to some serious problems, and it's going to catch up with you eventually. And the reason is because things will always go wrong on a motorcycle, sometimes on a daily basis. Some car is going to pull out in front of you. You're gonna be a turn will be coming up ahead, and you're gonna forget about it. And the last second, you're gonna have one brief moment to lean really low to get yourself out of that turn. And in those moments, you're gonna panic. But if you freeze in those moments, you're gonna have an accident. That car is gonna hit you. You're gonna go straight off the road into a wall or over a cliff. In those moments, you can get yourself out of them, but it's gonna require you not freezing up out of fear. You need to ask yourself, are you that kind of person? Because if you do freeze up, I wouldn't even recommend getting a motorcycle, period. You can probably get away with having fun in a parking lot, but in the real world, those things will always happen. And inevitably, it's going to happen to you. So if you are the kind of person that reacts appropriately under stress and fear, then give yourself a check mark. You passed that test. I believe that you would be able to, given the other things I'm going to go over here, start on a leader bike. Number 3, are you mature? Are you impulsive? You need to take an honest self-assessment. What do your peers say about you? Because if they say things like, you're young and dumb, you're crazy, you're not responsible, you're not mature, you may not want to get a motorcycle, period, yet, let alone a leader bike. But if your peers are saying things like, you're wise beyond your age is keeping you back, you are mature, you are responsible, you're not impulsive, if they're saying those kind of things about you, you might be able to pull this off. And the reason that's so important is because, well, just look at like all the reels and videos of motorcyclists going down and having crazy accidents. I would be willing to bet that most of those riders are inexperienced. There's another aspect here that we need to talk about, and that is when you hear other riders say things like, you can't control other drivers aren't going to see you and they're going to hit you. You cannot have that mindset when you ride. That is a defeatist mindset, and it's going to get you hurt or killed. I highly recommend that you go on there with the mindset that I did, which is something like this. I'm poor, I'm broke, I literally cannot afford to get into an accident, whether it's my fault or not. And therefore, I'm going to be actively aware all the time to prevent not just myself from getting in an accident, but from other people hitting me too. I will utilize the maneuverability that I possess on this motorcycle to prevent anyone from hitting me. Number 4, pilot's brain. That is what I would describe as a natural talent that some people possess that allows them to pilot things, it could be motorcycles, cars, or airplanes, very fast, faster than most people can, confidently and safely. If you have some other talent, let's say like poetry or being an artist or playing music, you could probably get away with riding a motorcycle, but I would not recommend starting on a leader bike or something really fast. And the reason is because you need to be a natural at this almost. It's going to be hard enough to ride a motorcycle, but add in the crazy, absurd speed of a leader bike, and if you're not natural at this, you may not be able to tame that beast. I've read a lot of autobiographies from former Top Gun pilots, World War II aces, MotoGP and NASCAR champions, and they're all pretty much describing what I'm trying to describe here. You need to feel when you get on that motorcycle for the first time that you're in control of it. It's not in control of you. You have to display skills that would have taken someone else a long time to possess, a long time to learn. And if you don't have those qualities, you're going to have to learn all this stuff like a normal person does. And when a normal person learns things, they make mistakes. And those are mistakes that are very costly when you're going 200 miles an hour on a leader bike. So I would highly recommend that if you don't possess a pilot's brain, that you stick with normal motorcycles, lower displacement, lower horsepower motorcycles, and you might be okay. But if you want to go to the extremes and start on a leader bike, Without that pilot's brain, I don't know. So anyway, those are my 4 recommendations for being able to pull off something like this. Learn stick shift, do not freeze when you panic, be mature, don't be impulsive, and it really helps if this is a natural gift from God for you.